we've produced or worked on a number of Moti's plays. This is our third or fourth full production, Chevlei Mashiach, or Pangs of the Messiah. This brand new version that we're doing now in 2007, which is a radical updating and rethinking of his Pangs of the Messiah that played in 1986.
The other three productions that I had in the theater were done by American artists, only by American artists. Only the play was written by an Israeli. Here, in this production, the theater has decided to bring in Israeli artists, the director, the designers, the musician, and that is a challenge.
This is a real experiment. We are very much a local Washington, D.C. theater, but in this case, because of the content of the material, we knew we wanted to have as authentic a rendering of the experience as possible. We wanted a director who truly understood the play, the issues of the play, who could teach the issues of the play to an American cast.
How to deliver the atmosphere where we are so vividly live in in 4 weeks and a half to a group of actors that had been collected on the basis of auditions, not because their knowledge of Israel. So the best way was to ask Moti to portray a full-scale biography.
Israeli actor would recognize immediately the context in which the character is growing up, and he would build his own biography. Here, the actors do not have enough knowledge of the context, so I have to build or create a biography. I had, like 3 or 4 productions last year here, and in every production I had to do the same.
All the stations that we know in the life of a person in Israel: youth movement, yeshiva, a specific unit in the army, marriage, University Bar Ilan.
From birth to the present day, complete with characteristics and where we'd gone to school, what we studied, what we might have, it seemed like he also had maybe thought about what was our favorite meal.
While the audience will never know all those things, the fact that we as actors know them will just fill what we're doing.
And Moti coming in with these amazing character biographies and all this information, so many questions have been answered.
Joel wasn't just kidding when he said, geez, he did our homework for us.
He felt it necessary to work with an Israeli designer. We took a great big gulp and said, okay, we'll try the set designer. She created this 26-foot long, 18-foot high photographic backdrop of a West Bank vista with an Arab village and a Jewish settlement. But from there, Sinai Peter, worked his persuasive magic, pleaded to work with an Israeli costume designer. Well, now, I'm a sucker for authentic detail. It's the right sort of shoe or scarf or, head covering that will tell us, yes, we're really overseas. Our work is 800 times more informed than some costume designer from Gaithersburg. And then Sinai, of course, went a little nuts, and he insisted also on a sound designer. Hannah Cohen is almost 80 years old. She's been designing sound at the Habima Theater, the National Theater, for 50 years. The University of Tel Aviv is sending her over, they're putting her up, and so she's contributed extraordinary music.
I think it has been a tradition in theater, Jay, that actors are being casted because of their skills and not by their religion. So most of the time there is a majority of non-Jewish actors in the cast. And they do what every actor has to do, to make research, to explore the character.
But the big problem is deeply understanding the context, which is not only the Israeli situation, but also the religious spirit. On that level, me too, I'm not coming from religious family. So it's a trip also for me.
It's nothing new for us to be teaching our Goyish cast about Jewish custom or Israeli history.
I found out in 1976 I was Jewish. I knew that my uncle, through marriage of my aunt, was Jewish. But I asked her when she converted, and she said, we never converted. So it was kind of a surprise. The next week I was discriminated against. The next week I was called a Jew.
Becky Peters, who's playing Tirza, is also my roommate. And she and I have been, a couple of months ago, did another show at Theater J. And starting then, started pestering them for books and for kind of ways in to start learning.
I've played a lot of Jews in my life. I'm an Italian. I've maybe played an Italian twice. I've played lots of Jews. So I certainly understand Orthodox versus Reform. I understand separating meat and dairy, keeping kosher.
What's interesting about working with Moti and Sinai in this is that we have a certain amount of the same cultural context, but I am a more religious Jew than either, and I'm not that observant anymore, but I'm more an observant Jew than either Moti or Sinai. So that puts me in a weird position, like, I'm the one who's recording the prayers for the actor playing Shmuel and helping him with pronunciation of Hebrew prayers, and I'm going to be going to the Orthodox Hasidic congregation in Georgetown to pray with them, to work with putting on tefillin again, so I know how to put it on correctly because I forget.
The kind of Jew that she is, the national religious movement, is something that, frankly, before I started working on the play, I knew absolutely nothing about.
This absolute belief that this is the way that redemption will come sooner. Not that this will make redemption happen, but this will lay the groundwork.
Yeah, I should admit that preparing the play, I wasn't enough aware to the importance to being so exact in these rituals.
Sinai had said, well, seat him on the sofa. I just seated him on the sofa, and I realized I shouldn't do that. A woman and a man who are not closely related aren't supposed to touch. I mean, I come from an Italian family. We hug everybody.
Would we, of course we would touch because we're man and wife, but would we do so in public? What's proper? What's correct? What are the boundaries?
From the first moment of rehearsal, it was a big question on the table. How to wash your hands before you eat and what you have to say exactly, and how it can work in the right timing for the play. So we decided something after questioning people who relied on their opinion, and we opened the show on Saturday and we performed 3 times, and then new notes came criticizing the way actors do it on stage and our decisions making. So yesterday night before the show, we had something like almost 40 minutes of working again on all these rituals and reshaping them in order to make it more believable.
Moti's saying, I'm not a religious person, I don't like religion, writing such a religious play in many ways, but at the same time that it exposes such hypocrisy and difficulty and fundamentalism, which brings about such awful things, is an interesting balance.
It'll be the real deal, and that will all be on stage, and it'll make such a qualitative, appreciable difference. Awareness of day-to-day life in Israel is pretty non-existent. Our Israeli artists are helping to make it a much closer experience.
There were few theaters in Israel that were interested in the play. None of them is doing a production of it, and it reflects on the changes that the Israeli theater went through. It lost its identity as a political theater, which was very, very essential in the 80s when I started writing. Jay has took upon himself the mission to explore the Israeli reality through theater, and I can only say how much I'm grateful for the opportunity.